Yay! Happy New Year's! Oh, that was 2 weeks ago? Never mind that. Okay, so as the year has been coming to an end, I wanted to kind of look back and see all the art I've made this year, some of it being kind of questionable. Okay, the way I explained this intro was very confusing, so I'll just have the live action me explain it. Y'all know those yearly art recaps that artists be doing on TikTok and stuff? They choose the best drawings out of each month and assign like a... what? They choose the best drawings out of each month and compile them together. So yeah, I just wanted to do that, but in video form. Kind of like a sketchbook tour, but I don't really have a sketchbook. I haven't drawn. Alright, this intro is long enough. First drawing. Oh, I'm hurt! Oh! This is one of the few colored ones you'll see, I think. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I made that many colored drawings this year. Alright, this is one of my OCs, Perry Nelson, or him as a baby. Unfortunately, I still like this one a lot. I made this exactly last year, which in my mind means I haven't improved. But here's my little bad, toxic piece of advice. If you still like an artwork you made that's over a year old, you didn't improve. I just gave like 20 people existential crises. I'm sorry, that's like not true at all. But for some reason, I think that. I don't know. Next one. This one gets an 8.5 because I like the rendering of the hair. I would give it a 9, but I don't really like how flat the facial features look. I don't know. Alright, this is the adult version of that previous character. This is where I first started drawing his new personality, I guess, because back in 2024, he was certainly different, to say the least. I mean, he was always a cocky, charming police detective in 1947, but I was trying to emulate that energy. We don't want a she who shall not be named on our hand, you know, where the character description doesn't match the character at all. You know, I don't know what I'm talking about. 6 out of 10 because I don't like the way I drew the clothes. Alright, this is another finished one. These are my other OCs. They're like these little plant things, creatures. But I kind of liked this drawing before I finished it. You ever get that? Like you start adding too much and it just ruins the whole thing. This is why digital artists suck. I do like the way I rendered his shoulder pad shell things. 8 out of 10. Just boring figure studies. Bro, these were for a portfolio because I applied to an art school last year. But by an art school, I literally mean one. I did get accepted though, but... So the acceptance rate is 90%. I'm so lucky. So I took a gap year because I'm not trying to get into debt for art. Hey, more Baby Perry. I actually really like these ones. I actually saw this re-uploaded on Pinterest, so that means you know it's good. I actually really like when my art gets re-uploaded on Pinterest. That's my favorite part. I know some people don't like it. I love that shit, bruh. I don't even care if it's credited. No, I can't. I'm kidding. I like his proportions. He looks very baby-like with his massive fucking forehead. Damn. I do think there could have been more variety with his posing here. Also, those guys up there are his parents. Outdated designs, but whatever. Doesn't matter. I forgot to rank these. What? 10 out of 10. This is great. This was something I made for a very low-stakes local art competition. I didn't win. This is my OC, Edward Sullivan. He's like a criminal psychiatrist. He's not a criminal, he's a psychiatrist for criminals. This is one of the many drawings I made of him. It's just a sketch, and I remember not really liking this one, but I mean, I think it's okay. Not amazing, but it ain't terrible. I did update his design and stuff, so this is kind of outdated. This just is. Lovely. Trigger warning. Sorry, I should have said that first. I don't even know what this would be a trigger warning for. This is Edward from the previous slide and his work partner, Renard. At the time I made this drawing, they were like married, but I actually decided to change that. They're still like romantically involved, but it's a bit more complicated. It's so complicated. I hate tangent. I hate when people call their stories complicated. Yeah, about the art, the rendering is pretty simplistic and kind of underbaked, but it's not too bad. I'm not a big fan of these hands though. I actually did redraw this later in the year. Stay tuned for that. That's my engagement bait for you. That's the last time I'll do that. Alright, these are some references I made for a few of the main characters from the Psych analysis. Is the world that those previous guys are from. Basically, the premise is that these guys are a part of a rehabilitation program. A rehabilitation program that basically does like brain surgery on like the worst of criminals to get rid of their urges to commit crime, I guess. One of the founders is this guy, Feng Guangzhu. Oh, I'm hurt! Hey, so I will go on to horribly mispronounce every single one of my characters' names. Sorry. Out of all of these, his design is the most outdated. I'm just gonna slap it up. This is his new design. Take it in. he's a doctor. Why would he be wearing that? Whatever. Moving on. This is the guy I just mentioned before, Guangzhou, and his wife, who is unfortunately never properly named. So I did change this. She's not his wife anymore. She is his secretary. So I'm gonna give her a new name because I realized her name was too similar to another character I had. So I had to change that because it might just be a me thing. I don't like when two of my characters have the same name. Or sorry, I don't like when two of my characters have too similar of names. Also, I didn't really like how she was like only in the story just to be his wife. I don't fuck with that. Y'all already know. Oh no, it's the thing that like 500,000 people saw, oh my god, on TikTok at least. I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I was so shocked. I think this is the first time I'm talking about these since. I was so shocked when these redesigns got noticed the way they did because I quite literally made them all in a day. And before someone says, I can tell, no, you can't, shut up. But still, I still like these, but if I were to do it again, I'd probably just make them look more different. Like a full redesign, not just like minor changes here and there. Because most of the stuff I got rid of was just the weird shit. That's literally it. And basically everything else was like, you know. I know some people were saying like, oh, you should have read the manga. But I'm going to be honest, the reason I didn't read it is because I find the art style to be extremely ugly. Moving on. Alright, well, speaking of anime, these two characters are some guys I have in another one of my universes. It's basically my own fake little manga. It's called... the title is My Life as a Control Officer in a Maximum Security Prison for History's Most Infamous Demon Lords. And these two are sort of the mentor characters, Rika and Shinoa. Don't ask why both are names end with A. Well, his name is Paprika, but, you know, that's like a nickname. They're both, like, high-ranking demon control officers, I guess. Well, they're not demons, but, like, it's like a prison for demons, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I draw characters from this universe, I always try to draw them in, like, not really an anime art style, but like an anime-inspired one, I guess. I don't think I did that good here. This was from like a cartoony art style. I don't know. Alright, more from that same universe, but this is one of the demon lords. I know he's very underwhelming, but this is actually his disguise form. He's very ferocious, trust me. These are some expressions I drew of that detective guy from before, Perry Nelson. I noticed I used to draw him very pale. I think you'll see later that changes. He's supposed to be, like, very American, stereotypically American man. So when I think of an American, or I guess a white American, I think of like a tan, you know what I'm saying? But he looks kind of pale. He looks a little bit he looks a little bit British here. I don't know. I'm just saying a whole bunch of nonsense. All right, these were for the 10 art style challenge thing I did, which I made a video about. But I think most of them are pretty good. I'm mostly just impressed I even finished it because I have attempted stuff like this many times before and never finished it. My favorite ones are definitely I like the penny and stocking one, like both of the art styles. I think I definitely could have made the line art thicker, but I guess the image I was referencing, for some reason the line art was a lot thinner than in the show. I like the Little Nightmares one and the Alien Stage one. Yeah. Okay, this is a lineup of my color characters, which I also made a video about, but it's a little outdated. And by a little, I mean a lot. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say about them. You can watch that if you want. I'm planning. I want to make another video about. I don't want to make about them though. I want to make more OC related videos, but I'll have to figure that out some way. Okay, another lineup of my other color characters, same world, except it's the monochrome characters, excluding the two pink ones. The only designs that are the same are like Charlie and Sylvia. Like Willis and Bishop get a bit of a redesign later. You'll see. I also made a video on this, but my god, is it outdated. It's even more outdated than the other one. More Bishop and Willis. They barely come up again. Don't worry about that. I drew them way more in 2024 and arguably more cringe art of them. So let me know if you want to see that. Okay, more Perry. I actually used these for commission examples when I had some commissions open. I think I might open commissions again, but yeah, this is Perry, and the lady next to him is his bestie and younger cousin, Rosemary. They're pretty silly and stuff. I don't know. I did change Rosemary's personality a bit, and their dynamic is... the new dynamic is more like toxic besties now. You know, I don't know. I kind of love it. This is Renard and Edward again, but as, like, babies. Or Renard is a baby. This is okay, but I don't really like picturing them on the same page. For some reason, I don't really like that. Or, sorry, I don't like picturing them when they're younger on the same page. It's just, like, I don't really fuck with it. But yeah, this design for baby Renard is pretty outdated because I kind of, like, when I draw him nowadays, I kind of make him, like, a fat baby because that's funny as fuck. Also, I'm not sure why Edward was in the military. kind of felt compelled to do it because I guess I thought it'd be realistic. By the way, the psychoanalysis takes place in 1971, but Edward is like 55, so he would have been prime age for. I guess I thought it'd be realistic, but I'm pretty sure if he was a foot soldier in during World War II, no, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be alive, or if not dead, extremely traumatized. This is a painting of younger Perry and his father, Robert Nelson. I wanted to get better at digital paintings so I can replicate those like old paintings because like Perry's dad was a painter. So I kind of wanted to be able to draw what he would have drawn, I guess. You ever get that? I don't know. Like you have an OC that's an artist, but they're better than you, so you can't really replicate what they draw. I don't know. Also, this was a study of a painting I saw on Pinterest, but for the life of me, I cannot find it again. It's probably a popular painting, but not probably. I think it's definitely a popular painting, but I literally can't find it. This is a little expression sheet of one of the characters in the psychoanalysis, Sun Cajun. This is his old design, and it came with his old personality that I don't even want to get into because I hate it. His old lore and personality, but basically the main characters like I need to explain some lore. You don't give a fuck, but I'm gonna. No, you give a fuck. You do. You give a fuck. Basically, for the main characters in this world, they need to commit some type of crime to be admitted into the program in the first place. So his crime was like he was a fucking stalker, I think. Like he would be looking through people's windows and shit. I don't know. I don't even think stalking is a crime, unfortunately. So this motherfucker would actually walk off scot-free. So I definitely did change the crime he committed. I made it more abstract. Not what? I don't know. I changed it basically. Okay, switching back and forth. I have a lot of. You should see some of these other people. If you think I have a lot of characters, you'd be fucking surprised. These are my park ranger OCs, Roger Branch and Lucy Twigs. I actually made these two doing that Emma Artley Pinterest character design challenge thing, but I've yet to make the third character. Okay, this is another character from the psychoanalysis. He's basically an inmate that not basically, he just is. He's an inmate there. He hasn't gotten the surgery yet, but definitely not a fan of this drawing because his head's fucking massive. This is Renard again. I don't think I said his last name. His last name is Wilhelm. I think. Am I pronouncing that wrong? Probably. Wilhelm? Renard Wilhelm. That's his name. He's like a therapist or something, but he's like a bad one. I always thought evil therapists were a really funny concept because I think they're more common than people think. So this is Renard as a baby again. If you're German watching this or you speak German in any way, ignore the positively botched German I wrote on this. I only know like 3 words. Anyways, I had some stuff in his backstory about having a twin sister and stuff, and him basically tormenting her. I don't know how canon this is, but I mean, it makes sense. Renard was like a horrible fucking child. Like, he'll just be hitting the family pet for no reason. Yeah, just not a very good child. Okay, the same world again. Edward, Renard, and Yumiki in the back. Edward and Renard are basically like monitoring the patient while just talking hella casually, I guess. Like, after Renard says this, I imagine he just asks Edward like what he wants for dinner or something while Yumiki is literally crashing out. Spicy. Okay, this is Guangzhou again from earlier, but I guess I want to draw some spicy art of him. He still has his military uniform. Please ignore that, because that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I literally changed his design because he's literally a doctor. Anyways, I keep having to reiterate that. I don't think this is that crazy, like the spicy level. I don't think it's too crazy. I think this is one of those drawings where like I literally never found this character attractive before this. I was just like about him. But I think this drawing changed my brain chemistry because this was from that character obsession meme I never finished. Renard and Edward again. I'm blurring out the German because this time it's extremely botched. But anyways, I think this is supposed to like showcase Renard's kind of his obsessive personality, but you can tell I'm not very confident in my concepts, bro. But the art itself, I like the way I drew Renard's face, but other than that, it's alright. I also like the colors and the little edited roses and stuff. Yeah, and also I like Edward's he's like bleeding out. I don't know what the point of this was. I just want to draw something fucking edgy. This is Perry again, and oh yeah, this is partner Clint. He belongs to my sister. Like I think I said that before, but I wanted to draw that one meme because it was Pride Month, and I thought it'd be funny. More sketches of Renard and Edward. This is just some romantic art of them, I guess. Yeah, I used to draw a lot of cutesy art of them, but nowadays, since they have a not that great dynamic, I don't really like drawing this type of stuff with them anymore. But this is like kind of funny. Also, I know I probably don't need to say this, but I'm not a Fujoshi, you know. I feel like that's unnecessary to say, but I feel like I should say it because I do have a lot of male characters, so naturally if men are the only characters available to be shipped together, then that's kind of what happens. I have started making more women characters, but I think it'll always be all right, more of the psychoanalysis characters, but as children. Okay, they're all pictured to be about 10 years old here, so that's what the dates below them are for. This was kind of before I really figured out their backstory, so I'll definitely change some of their childhood designs. Like, Maverick was going through it as a child. His ass would not be smiling. Okay, I wanted to try drawing furries. Yeah, that's about it. No, I'm not even gonna say furries. I'm sophisticated. It's anthro. Yeah, Renard and Edward again. How many times should I reintroduce my characters before it gets fucking annoying? Just timestamp when you said, okay, I get it. I remember their name. Shut the fuck up. More Anthro Renard. I know based off his name, he should probably have been a fox, but I just thought a bunny would be cuter. And I know I'm saying Renard. I think that's the other pronunciation. I know it's Renard, but his name's not Renard. It's Renard because I put a Y in it. I think that changed the pronunciation. If I'm wrong, well, fuck. This is a little suggestive and pretty cringe, so let's move on. Yo, art fight! This was my card for art fight. If you don't know what art fight is, I don't know what to tell you, man. On to greener pastures. Art fight. I'm only gonna show this one because it was the first piece I made, and it's one of the best, to be honest. Well, there's another one I really like, but because I know some people don't like their OCs being shown to like on other social media, so I get that. I forgot to say these are my sisters OCs, Clint and Barbara. Yeah, they're super cute or whatever. This is like an early design of the guy I mentioned in the last video, Takashi. I think he looks a bit weird. Like, I don't like the way I drew his face. I really don't. But yeah, Yanlan looks very adorable here. I'm actually obsessed. Here's some silly sketches of the psychoanalysis characters. Yeah, that's about it. Major art block of this one. Renard again. Yeah, this one is also pretty silly, but if you haven't noticed, I redesigned Renard slightly. Just very slightly, but eventually he gets, I guess, more masculine looking, because I kind of didn't like how he looked originally. But it's a very slow process. And also that one meme at the bottom with Renard and Esther. Okay, this is baby Edward and all his older siblings. I think he looks so cute here. I don't know why. He's supposed to be an ugly little child, and I think I did a good job at conveying that. I don't know, I love it. It's like that Pinterest comment you keep seeing, like, love it, with a heart. Alright, back to Takashi and Yanlan. You can see he changed quite a bit. I wasn't liking how dweebish he was looking. I guess, is that the right word, dweebish? He looked weak. So he is weak, but, you know, he looked physically weak. I want him to realistically look more like a 54-year-old man, which I think he still looks a bit young here. Like, maybe 35 at most. But also, this is another drawing of Takashi with a different weapon. But after drawing it, I didn't think it'd be that realistic for him to have a shotgun, considering the time period and country this takes place in. So, I don't know, let me know if I'm wrong, but I feel like him having a shotgun would be a little bit outlandish. Or he might have a shotgun, I don't know how the fuck he's getting bullets for that. Alright, if you watched my other video, you already saw this, but, if I didn't say, this story is called Autumn of 1960, but in this drawing, I basically wanted to show his, like, fear, I guess, if you could even call it that, more his fear of retribution. Yanlan is a ghost, but she doesn't know she's a ghost, basically. I mean, she's not even really a threat to him, but he is absolutely, like, terrified of her. This is a quick little redraw of Renard. I like the sideburns, and I think it's cute. This is during his transition phase, I guess. He now has sideburns and a little Whoville nose. Alright, these are some ideas for my OC's parents, the psychoanalysis characters. It's Edward, Guangzhou, Renard, and Cajun's parents. I think it's okay, but I kind of fell into the making parent characters look too similar thing. Another drawing I made in my other video. This is Detective Nelson again, and that journalist I was talking about, his name is Ramon. This is actually a redraw of something I made in like 2024 or like 2023 or some shit. And oh boy, was the original one really bad.
Oh hell no!
Alright, these are my little Sky OCs I made. Sky Children of Light. It's like this co-op exploration game. It's fun. I was trying to figure out how I draw the characters because in the game they have like these simplified not polygraph, geometric faces. They have very simplified faces, but they can like eat and breathe, so I think it's implied they have noses and mouths. Anyways, yeah, this is cute. Okay, more Sky. But these aren't OCs. They're called the elders in the game. They're basically the I don't know what they are. I think they're like the guardians of the realms or something. They everything in the big 26, bro. The reason I drew this is because I was held at gunpoint, actually. Basically, my older sisters were playing this game, and they were all picking their favorites, like, out of there's like fucking 100 characters or some shit. But basically, they wanted to know which one was my favorite, who's my bias, like the BTS fans say. I didn't have one, because I didn't give a fuck about any of them, honestly. I found most of them to be either cool platonically or really ugly. But then I saw Daisuke, and I was like, good enough, and I was sad. I was trying to figure out how to draw myself because I don't think I get my likeness very well, so I tried to exaggerate my main features, I guess, or what I've been told my main features or my most. I have a hard time seeing myself objectively. Okay, so these are references I made of OCs in a very old, underdeveloped fantasy world I have called Solis Divis, I think. And these designs are some of the main characters, Chujin, Koiri, and Kain. I remember I posted this on TikTok, and people said the old ones looked better. I did add a bit more detail back to the design, but I don't know. I think the old ones I don't think the old ones looked bad per se, but it's certainly not my style anymore. Technically another redraw, but this is a bit unfinished, but it's the previous character, Chujin. I was attempting to fall back in love with this character, and unfortunately it worked. A funny thing I noticed about my characters that are like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, so basically ancient for my time, is that their designs always change based on what I find attractive at the time. Just look at the original for a second. Like, versus the new one, like, it speaks for itself. Alright, we're back in the psych analysis with the main guys. I was attempting to see how bad my same face syndrome was, and yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not obvious, but a few of them have two similar face shapes, mostly Maverick and Edward, to be honest. This is actually a redraw of something else, and honestly, this version is leagues better than the old version. I want you to take a second to look at how Guangzhou used to look. Okay, Edward again, but this slightly younger, like probably mid-30s or something along those lines. I remember my brother looked at this drawing and was like, "Oh, is he supposed to be ugly?" And I was like, yes, he is." And he was like, "You did a great job. He is beyond shocked." Alright, this is a reference sheet I made for Renard. I think the facial hair kind of snuck up on all of us, but I do like this design better. Alright, these are my cowboy OCs, Grayson, Frederick, and August. But I believe this is also a redraw, so bask in the glory of their old designs. I low-key think I ate with, like, making their faces look different from each other. If you think Frederick and August look similar, that's because they're cousins, so I have an excuse for that. Oh my god! Okay, we're back to Perry Nelson again, and the rest of the characters in his story. Also, plot twist, Perry isn't even the main character. It's this guy, Clint Walker, but yeah, he belongs to my sister as well as Benjamin over there. I wanted to do my own version of their designs, I guess, basically how I would draw them in my style. I also drew Perry with his family, his father Robert, his younger brother Harry, and his cousin Rosemary. His mom ran away. She wanted no part of this family, and I can't blame her. Her name is Isabel, by the way. Okay, Perry and Clint again. This was like a quick sketch, shut up. But I wanted to do a little story moment, like they're probably waiting for the bus stop, and Clint didn't pack an umbrella, but he's like way above asking Perry for literally anything. This is Demon Lord Control Facility again, but these are like the main characters, like the protagonist. Like, I don't really got much to say about them, but this is the designs I made for them. Okay, we're finally back to that redraw. I do like this one a lot better than the previous one, I guess. Yeah, the hands are certainly better looking. They're more appealing in my opinion. And I like the way Renard is like pulling on the turtleneck, I guess. I don't know. But I will say the rendering kind of stayed at the same level. I don't really think that improved that much, but I do think this one looks a bit more spicy. I don't know. Okay, this was also in the previous video. This is Keijin and Yumiki again. Well, I didn't really explain their whole deal, but it doesn't matter. But the funny thing is the trope I was explaining, and when I had their speed paint in the background, that's not them. I swear that is not their dynamic. Yeah, Yumiki is a patient in the psychoanalysis, and Keijin is a nurse as the nurse. And I mean, they have a little bit of some issues going on, I guess, but it's definitely not that bad. This is Grace. She was also in the last video. Benefactor for the psychoanalysis. She doesn't really know all the ins and outs of what's going on, but all she knows is a rehabilitation program, and her family are like kind of they're like rich, they got money, so they're like funding this program. It's basically like, you know, charity work, you know, stuff like that. She has her suspicions more so than her family, but you know, she also interacts with Guangzhou throughout the story. I was thinking about delving into their whole dynamic, but this is not the video for that. Okay, speed round. This is Takashi again. I want to draw him crashing out because that's my favorite thing to draw him doing. Whenever I draw him doing any other expression besides crashing out, I'm like, who is this? I also drew this in the last video. I do like the rendering, it's very nice. Okay, this is my sister's OC, Barbara. She's in the same universe that Perry is in. She's lovely, gorgeous woman. This is also the last video because I only put this because I didn't have any other drawings to put here. But this is Bishop and Willis again. In the original lore, they were like just fucking office workers. But I was like, what if Willis is like a photographer and Bishop is like a model or something? Because I thought that's much more interesting professions than just office worker. Like, oh my god. Okay, this is the other drawing I drew in the last video. This is Renard and Edward and Edward's ex-wife, Adeline. Yeah, I got so many comments thinking this was a fucking House MD fan art. I've never watched that show. Oh my god. That was so funny, bro. I love that. And niggas like, is that fucking House MD? And I was like, I did not think about that. Okay, this is Bishop again. I want to draw him doing like his sexy model stuff. I don't know. I do like the way I drew this. This compared to his old design is like crazy. Also, this is another phenomenon of my when my type changes, my OCs change with it, and that's very funny. I think he looks nice here. Okay, Bishop again. Yeah. This is another drawing of him. I was just trying to get his face down. I like it so far, but hey, that was the last one. Huh. This video was a little bit chaotic, but hopefully it was still enjoyable. Also, what the heck? Thank you for almost 20k. like that's literally insane. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. Like, so yeah, I just wanted to do that, but